Oh my goodness, how blessed am I? This is an Australian winter here in Queensland anyway. There is some areas that get cold, and we did have a cold snap last week, but I'm back out in my singlet and enjoying the beautiful morning. And I'm blessed because this is part of almost my daily routine. And how did I get here to have such a beautiful, abundant and prosperous life where I have time to enjoy these beautiful things and still serve humanity, right? I want to share that. How did I get here? Because I created space to tune in to source, tune into the things that bring me joy, opened my heart. And this is where I was just feeling into the energy, and I was like, okay, intuition, higher self, source, guides, what would you like me to share today? And they basically said, tell them about how there's these polarity, right? Polarity in wealth. So there's two main types of wealth, like successful wealth, but two types. There's also two types of manifestation, two main types, okay? And both of these come from, wealth, a mechanical wealth where you actually work hard. You work 80 to 90% of your life. You trade time for money. A lot of the time you trade a lot of other things like time with your family, your well-being. You can actually trade your relationships because you don't have time for them. Basically, you start trading so many things that actually are valuable in your life to actually create wealth. Then there's this type of wealth that is soul-aligned wealth. And this brings a place that we actually end up with a lot more joy. We work purposeful, so we are heart-fulfilled through the things that we are creating. We have time for those things that really fulfill us. So I have time to be there for my children's magic moments. If they have a sports carnival or a sports day, or just we want to go on a holiday, like have had I think 7 or 9 holidays in 12 months, and they're short escapes sometimes, just camping, but we go to beautiful places with friends. We get those beautiful magic moments, right, consistently throughout our lives. And it's because I've tapped into this sacred part of myself where there's wealth within me. And to create wealth, we must invest, right? We must invest in ourselves. We must be consistent. So I'm not consistent all the time. Like I am consistent in my job, but my job is not 9 to 5. It's working a few hours aligned to what I choose around my children, around my rituals, my morning walks, my exercise, my well-being. I do this from a place that actually adds vibration and raises my frequency. So what happens in this space with the rituals and the tools that I do consistently, which are aligned, working energetically. So I do 80% energy work, looking at my thoughts, my emotions, what things have been anchored in my field through past experiences, continually clearing those things out as they arise in my body, in my thoughts and things I say, and keep working on that space. So I keep investing in myself. I keep investing on learning skills that actually grow me. And what happens? I actually create less resistance between me and source in manifesting the things that I desire, because I'm in a higher vibration. I'm opening and collapsing time. I'm releasing and deleting old timelines, things that don't serve me. So things come to me faster and easier. Now, I realized this years ago, the more I did this work, the more actually productive I was, the more time I had. Whereas at first I felt like I had no time. I've got children, I've got a million things to do around the house because I'm a single mom, and I had all these excuses that told me I didn't have time for this. But I started creating. First, it was just 15 minutes a day. I just allowed myself to do my practices 15 minutes a day. And before you know it, my mind was clearer. I had the capacity to create more time for all these joyful things. And bit by bit, my life got easier, got more joyful, and it completely changed. And then I created this beautiful life, like absolutely beautiful, where I am. I have abundance of time. I'm prosperous. I have all the things, I'm provided for financially. And what a great place to be as a single mom with 2 young children. And for ages, I've been able to serve people with healing work and coaching and programs. And my guides are like, you need to share this quantify formula to everybody. You need to, for me, it's like, okay, it's time to level up to not just to serve thousands, but serve hundreds of thousands of people. And I can do it without trading my time, like abundance of time. I still will have that. I can do that by creating programs and group processes, right? Taking people through the things that I do and created space for. So there is these 2 types of manifestation and wealth. One is mechanical and one is soul aligned. One is allowing space for our intuition to guide us and for the universe, which can create things beyond our wildest dreams. Letting go the how, not being so structured that I have to do this, this, and this. You will get each step of the way when we're intuitively in tune with ourselves, in tune with the higher self and the divine that lives within your heart. It's there. It's not outside of you. It is outside of you too, because we are all connected with everything. But it's not, most people are seeking and looking outside of themselves at the matter external, trying to change their reality externally instead of changing it internally. When you change the internal thing and connect to the internal wealth within you and see how you are the most valuable thing in your life, you need to treat yourself in that way. You need to take care of the things you value the most, that bring you the most joy. Take care of your well-being, your health. Prioritizing those things, because it's no good having money if you don't actually have time to enjoy it. Time with the people you love the most, or going to the places you love the most. What is the point? And, society, the 3D matrix, whatever you want to call it, has basically programmed us all from a young age to think that we must work harder, we must trade time for money, all these imprinted stories that create resistance that we have to work at clearing, that we need to reprogram our conscious mind. The codes live within you. They're there. They've just been locked up, or have something, a code put on top of them that you just need to clear and basically wake up the code within you. So it's the active code. The conscious mind doesn't like change. So this is where there's this resistance that you need to be aware of. You need the tools to be able to reset that energy, reset the subconscious mind, and start to reprogram that program. You need to basically start to erase it. But it will take time, because your subconscious, it is a known fact that we are creatures of habit. So again, if we're talking about wealth and we're talking about investing and investing in ourselves, compounding is a really powerful thing. Because if you just change 2%, it doesn't have to be massive, but 2% of your daily routine, that basically lines. So if I put my fingers like that, this is the path you're on right now. If you start to change 2%, at the bottom of my 2 fingers are close together. It's small, the gap is little, but it opens up wide. So that 2% compounds every day. If you keep taking action, just 2% every single day, you will change your destination. You will no longer end up here. You will end up out here. You won't notice sometimes that 2% in the beginning, but in the long term, oh my gosh, your life will radically change if you stay consistent to compounding that 2% and keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. 2% every day, 2% every day. I promise you, those neuron pathways that are in your brain will be rewritten. And this is what it's all about. Training your subconscious, training your nervous system, training the new neuron pathways, changing your patterns, because we are creatures of habit as a human. And this means that we must be consistent to making the changes. And remembering, it is 80% energy, 20% aligned action. It's not 80% work. It's aligned action, only 20%. The rest of it is working on your energetic.